An even 155 pounds. This young man hails from Valley Stream, New York. Boxing fans, let's welcome Mike McCallum. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with the white trim, he weighed in at an even 150 pounds. This gentleman hails all the way from Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic. Boxing fans, here is Jose Vallejo.
Okay, ya te dio la regla en español. I gave him the instructions in Spanish. He doesn't speak English, all right? When I say break, I want you both to break clean. If there's a knockdown, the fighter scoring the knockdown must go to the farthest neutral corner. He said I'll tell you to come out. Fighter going down must take the mandatory 8 count. In case of 3 knockdowns, it's up to my discretion whether I let the fight continue or stop it. Watch your low punches, kidney punches, your right punches, and watch your inside with your heads, all right? But take yourselves at all times so you can't come out fighting at the bell. That's in la mano, okay?
All right, the final instructions from Joe Cortez as we get ready for Mike McCallum and Jose Vallejo. McCallum at 26, rated number 1 by the WBA. There you see him on the left of your screen, number 1 by the WBC. And the last check, 3rd by Ring Magazine. Vallejo on the right with the red is 27 and 8-13. Knockouts, he's 28 years of age. But keep your eye on the man in the gold. They call him the body snatcher, the very impressive Mike McCallum, who is a sharpshooter, tremendous hand speed. He really works the body and head, takes his time, looks to wear down his opponent, and he's got that crunching knockout power.
Yeah, he's got cobra power in his hands. He's very, very fast. And I would say at this particular time right now, he's the best dressed fighter I've seen in a long time, with beautiful gold and suede boxing shoes and just very well attired.
He just glows, doesn't he? There's that swift left uppercut administered by McCallum, who is a perfectly conditioned fighting machine, according to Ring Magazine. Throws punches effortlessly with power and speed. We're giving the kid a pretty good build-up, but as you will see, I'm sure you'll understand why.
Yes, and you can never take anything for granted in a fight. We just don't know very much about Jose Vallejo, but you never can tell. But what I have seen, and I had said it earlier at the top of the show, that he is as crisp as can be in his punch power. He's naturally born fighter, gifted with power.
I'll tell you one thing about Vallejo, though, Arthur. He is a classy young man. He told us he's just proud to be here to fight a ranking fighter, as McCallum is, and he feels like he's just getting closer and closer to hitting the jackpot. First he fought Kevin Howard, then Bobby Joe Young, now Mike McCallum. He's had some pretty good fights. He lost a close 10-round decision to world-rated Kevin Howard, and a decision to Bobby Joe Young. He knocked Young down.
Well, I'll tell you, he's making a mistake by staying there. He should be moving around. Now you can see the power, that snap, that cobra snap that McCallum has.
The explosiveness of Mike McCallum.
He should not stay in that corner. He should move around. He's dropping his hands, and you don't do that with a man like McCallum. You can hear the power, the snap.
It continues from McCallum.
You used the best word early in the show about McCallum. He's cool as can be, and look at him, he is. He keeps his hands high. He stalks his opponent. He has an objective. He knows what he's doing.
Against Tony Suero, back on April the 26th here on Super Fights, we were all a little surprised. We had heard McCallum was good, but he was dynamite. He was relentless.
Jose should keep that right glove of his open and snap off the jabs. Just parry it off.
Well, earlier, we had an opportunity to get the feelings and thoughts of Mike McCallum's trainer, Jocko Hughes.
Can go to the body. Mike can go to the head. Mike McCallum is a complete boxer. He boxes well. He punches well. He moves left or right. It doesn't matter. You will see the next champion in the ring Wednesday night, and that will be Mike McCallum.
Make him box out here real life, and you come right back up in the sun up and work on that. Touch him with a little shot right out here. Let him catch it out here. He's catching it, and then touch him. Come right back up in the summer. He'll open up a little bit more. He's primarily on defense right now, so he's not giving anything to work with, so don't worry about it. All right, just boxing. When you start shooting your left hand, bring all the shots up to the middle. Because you got to hit your shots just right there. All right, second ball. Hit it with more shots than the
Round 2 scheduled for 10. Mike McCallum in the flashy gold trunks says he's ready to challenge any top 10 junior middleweight, which includes WBA champion Roberto Duran. And there might, in fact, be such a challenge 60 days after the fight Duran has with Marvin Hagler. That could be sometime in January or February, but there's always that chance that Duran might retire, and there might be a possible matchup between McCallum and James Hard Rock Green. Green, of course, is suffering a disappointment when Thomas Hearns had to pull out of his fight with a bad hand for the WBA Super Welterweight Championship coming up in Las Vegas in September, so that's scratched, and that's a tough break for James Green.
That's right. Well, I don't think, of course, if Duran were to beat Hagler, I don't think he'd retire. But he has a mandatory with Duran, as you say, if he does not retire. Now, Vallejo is a very, very defensive fighter. He doesn't seem to be aggressive. He's not an offensive fighter. Now, the word offensive, I don't mean offensive in stinking. I'm saying he's not an aggressive fighter.
Very laid back. You compared him to Wilfred Benitez in his laid back quality, and he just puts together body punches. That's his style.
You're right. He resembles the style of Benitez, but Benitez has always been winning fights because he has a mixture of defense and offense.
But Mike McCallum continues to stalk Jose Vallejo. McCallum sparred with Milt McCrory in preparation for his WBC Welterweight Championship with Colin Jones, which McCrory won. Also sparred with Thomas Hearns prior to the injury. He's a member of the Clancy Cronk team, which has Thomas Hearns and Milton McCrory and Hilbert County. Emmanuel Stewart, the man in charge there, who incidentally is now training Aaron Pryor for his fight with Arguello on September the 9th.
Now, Vallejo, it seems to be just concerned about blocking that jab and blocking his punches. He just threw one pretty good left hook, but that's really about the only one. You see, he's just concerned about defending himself. McCallum's telling me that he got his incentive to box at an early age from Jamaica in the West Indies from a very good fighter of yesteryear by the name of Bunny Grant. He was the most popular fighter out of Jamaica.
And his big goal, his ambition is to bring the title back to Jamaica.
That's his aspiration, and it looks like he's on his way.
He was born there in Kingston, Jamaica. He used to train in Nashville for a time. He now lives in Valley Stream, Long Island, and Detroit, where the Cronk team is located. Round 2 is coming to an end, 10 seconds and counting.
I would like to see, now you see, now that's foolish. He's taking an awful chance with McCallum doing that, and he's exciting McCallum also.
Jose Vallejo, and he's struggling a little bit over there. We'll check in on the corner of Mike McCallum, who looked as cool and crisp as ever when he sat down.
Okay, looking at him closely. You're going to start picking up your pace. Because as you're fighting at a certain pace, he's going to keep a distance between you where you can't really operate. Okay? Close the pace, start touching him up and down now, too. Setting him up a lot more. Jab him to the body and to the head. I think you put your attack together a little bit closer. I can see how he survives all his fights. All right, good coaching, right? That's a good coach on. And keep cutting them shots up to the start. So when you get them near the ropes and you line them up, start attacking the right hand on the outside. Just the right hand around the ropes.
All right, round 3 scheduled for 10. Junior middleweights, Mike McCallum in the gold. Jose Vallejo is in the red. Mr. Stewart, well respected around the world of boxing, giving his advice just a moment ago.
Well, I can tell you where he gets his coolness from. He gets it from Emmanuel Stewart because Emmanuel Stewart doesn't rattle. He's very neat in that corner. He dresses well, and he operates very well. His whole establishment, that Kronk establishment, is run that way.
Mike McCallum approaches every fight as if it's a championship fight. Very businesslike.
I don't know why Jose Vallejo is in the fight. If he's just backing up, dropping his hands, he's asking for trouble. You may do that with an inferior opponent, but not with McCallum.
McCallum burrowing in on Vallejo. The crowd comes alive. There's that left jab followed by a right uppercut by McCallum.
Now there's McCallum's snap. You hear that snap. Every punch is effective. He's a tough guy, Jose, isn't he?
For taking that punishment, those sharp, crisp punches being thrown by McCallum are landing. There's another combination.
Well, these fellows do not survive in boxing, a fellow like Jose Vallejo, because he takes too much punishment. It's not necessary.
Did you hear the comment, that one comment from Emmanuel Stewart? He said, after viewing Vallejo over the first couple of rounds, now I see how he survived.
Well, that was a good statement.
A little caution there from Joe Cortez. Don't hit the back of the head to McCallum.
Jose has the ability. Look at those jabs. If he would only do that, you don't win fights on the defense, you win fights on the offense.
Again, being backed up by McCallum. To snatch another body. There's that straight right that made contact to Vallejo.
Piston right, and that hurt, and that's going to be the beginning of it.
Now the left jab sets up the right uppercut, and McCallum just doesn't let up.
Wow, I'll tell you, that was a left hook that he just shook it right off. He can really take it, Vallejo.
Vallejo 27 and 8, 13 knockouts. He was a national champion in Santo Domingo as an amateur for 3 straight years as a welterweight.
But you can't last long in boxing in the ring by taking punishment like that. He has the ability to back off, but he won't. It seems like he's just mesmerized.
Mike McCallum, 18 and 0, 70 knockouts, a 94% knockout rate.
That's a tough style. That's a tough penalty to pay to have that kind of a style. There's a right hand there. They really hurt him.
Yep. Vallejo is rocked as we head for the bell here in round 3. Let's get some comments right now from Dick Landis on the sideline. Dick?
Okay, Steve and Arthur, a couple of things I'd like to mention. First of all, let's explain why McCallum has not fought since April. He's been involved in a couple of cancellations, not at his doing. McCallum told me today, he said, I'm always in tremendous shape. It's tough to stay up when you're involved in a couple of cancellations, but I'm always in shape. I'm always ready to go. And that is definitely the case. The other thing is, it's strangely quiet here during this fight. Everybody just kind of watching McCallum stalking, waiting, I think, for a knockout. And, of course, you have Vallejo, the flat-footed, methodical defender whose game is survival at this point. But in McCallum, and he's not being tested, you are seeing probably one of the hottest fighters in the country today. Gentlemen?
All right, thank you very much, Dick. And in terms of the quietness here, perhaps the folks are thinking about their losings.
Losses is right. These are not the typical boxing fans that you get, let's say, at Madison Square Garden or South Forum or some of the smaller clubs. But they're enjoying this card. There's no doubt about it.
All right, Arthur, round 4 scheduled for 10. Pretty good punch there by Vallejo.
I don't think Vallejo should punch McCallum because he gets mad.
Yeah. Well, it's a catch-22, I guess. You can't win.
I think that Vallejo just threw 2 punches in this fight that landed were good. It was a left hook in the early round and that right cross. And now another one.
Speaking of catching, Mr. Vallejo is catching some leather here from Mike McCallum. Now he backs Vallejo up against the ropes right up above us.
McCallum now is pushing him away and setting him up with straight lefts and rights and uppercuts and everything you can hit him with.
Continues to dish it out, connecting at will, but Vallejo continues to stay on his feet.
Vallejo is typical of a lot of fighters. They can absorb an awful lot of punishment, just like the Jake LaMottas. I mean, they could take an awful lot of punishment and never go down. He seems that way.
Shades of Mao de la Rosa, one of our earlier super fights.
Good comparison, Steve.
Here's the guy who just refused to go down, and Vallejo is in the same mold, but McCallum, airing it out. A wild miss.
Vallejo will not be able to absorb this punishment for much longer. Guaranteed.
McCallum is cool as when his fight just began. Ooh, a hard right by McCallum.
The crowd is waking up now because it seems McCallum is exciting the crowd.
Well, what they might be seeing is a future champion.
Vallejo's corner should tell that young man to move and jab. Can't stay in those ropes.
Woody LaRasso and Victor Cintron in the corner of Jose Vallejo.
I mean, this is a complete shutout. It's something has to change.
A wipeout. McCallum, you saw that counter punch by McCallum a second ago at the left. Measuring Vallejo out. How much punishment can a man take?
Well, I'll tell you, my opinion is Joe Cortez will probably stop this fight in this round or the next round. McCallum, though, should have been warned for two hits below the belt. He doesn't mean it because he likes to body punch.
And he accumulates the punches and just continues to wear.
This one was right on the borderline. Beautiful on the inside to the solar plexus.
Right there to the midsection.
Now he's bleeding at the mouth. Vallejo is all ripped up in the mouth. And it's a shame that he should be taking this kind of punishment.
Vallejo is a mess, as we had for the bell at round 4. It's just a question of how much longer this goes.
Right. He's walking back to his corner, very, very cocky. He's not wobbling. But I would say that with the next round, the doctor will come in and look at this fighter because he's absorbing too much, even though he does not show that he's hurt.
We've got some action from the 4th round coming up here, Arthur, and again, a continuation of the confidence of McCallum.
Well, and the sharpness. I mean, every punch is an educated punch. He does everything just right. I hate to be so praiseworthy about a fighter, but I've got to say it. The truth is there.
I think it's right there. It won't be no more than one more at the most.
And round 5 scheduled for 10. Let's see if McCallum just continues to stalk Vallejo. That was one of the rare offensive moves by Jose Vallejo as he lunged with the left.
This is how fighters get hurt in the ring, by absorbing all this kind of punishment.
And you know something? Vallejo looks like a scene out of Flashdance. I mean, the water is just spritzing off his body. I mean, it looked like he just jumped into a lake.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the difference, really. They're throwing pails of water at him. Now, you can see McCallum's trunks. He doesn't even have a speck of water on his trunks. It's a very clean operation. He looks now like he looked when he walked in the first round.
Now it continues to be all Mike McCallum as he has Vallejo backpedaling once again.
And you know who was that way? The great, great Sugar Ray Robinson. He'd go in with a nice permanent wave and walk out after a championship fight with a permanent wave unbothered.
That's the same for you when you're in the ring.
Thank you.
All right, above us, Vallejo manages to wiggle away, but it doesn't seem to matter. He's still being smothered by McCallum.
I have a feeling that McCallum is really not giving them before. He's just kind of maybe taking a little workout because I kind of think he could do it.
You know, I think you're right. It seems like at any moment he could take Vallejo right out of there, but maybe he just wants to work.
Yeah, look at him. He's just tapping away, jabbing. Look at that. He's just, look at that. I mean, he could put more power in those jabs.
Series of jabs.
Look at that. Now, you see, that's pitter-patter to me. That's punishing a fighter. A fighter fighter is better off if he's taken out quickly. He's less damage to his head.
Now let's see if he opens up. There's the right uppercut, right hook, a miss by Vallejo. McCallum comes right back.
It's very, very difficult for a referee to stop a fight like this because Vallejo comes back in spurts. And, you know, there's always a chance that if he hits him right, he could go down. And that's highly improbable.
It appears, Arthur, that the crowd just wants McCallum to put Vallejo away and stop with the pitter-patter.
I would stop this fight very soon because he's going to absorb an awful lot of punishment.
It's incredible what Vallejo is taking here.
But he comes back in spots, and it's tough for Joe to stop this fight.
Well, it's a cliche, but you got to say it. He's got a lot of heart. The roundhouse right
now. He dropped his hands. You don't do that with McCallum.
Oh.
He's going to get hurt.
No, he did not read the book on McCallum before this fight.
What's the sense of letting him get all cut up that way, really? It's going to happen.